Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to build a game on Scratch. Scratch is a programming drag and drop website where you can make cool games on. I've been learning Scratch for some time now, and now I'm going to show you how you can build your own games in Scratch. Now let's start with a simple balloon shooter game. Now we have to get into Scratch. Go to the address bar, type in scratch.mit.edu, short for education. Then press enter. You should see a screen like this. As you can see, I already made an account. You don't have to make an account to make games, but it is good to make an account to save all your games. Once you want to make a game, on the left side you would see a button saying create. Press that. Then you should see this screen. Today we are going to make a simple balloon shooter game. So, delete the sprite 1 or the scratch cat. It said sprite 1 because it's the first sprite there. Sprites are the characters or the objects in your program. For example, on the bottom right, there is a button saying choose a sprite. Choose a sprite, paint, surprise, upload. So, if we are going to make a balloon shooter game, well, we need a balloon. Press choose a sprite. Choosing a sprite will let you see all the sprites Scratch has. Painting a sprite would let you paint your own sprite. Surprise is it chooses a random sprite for you. Upload sprites are where you can upload something or some image you got from your computer. So press choose a sprite. Since we're doing a balloon shooter game, I'm obviously going to pick a balloon. When your cursor goes on the balloon, you see it change color. Press balloon 1. If you want to know why the balloon was changing color, it's because of costumes. Costumes are the styles of the sprite. There's blue style, yellow, and purple style. I'll go with blue. Then you have to make a score. You have to go to variables. Variables is where you can make your own type of block. So, let's say I need to make a score for my game, right? Press make a variable. Then I need it to be score. Make sure your variable, the first word has an uppercase letter and the second word has always lowercase letter. Then press OK. Make sure it's for all sprites. But if you want it for only that sprite, then press for the sprite only. Press OK. Now you have your own score variable. But if you see this green flag and stop sign, that means that is the way to start and stop. The green flag is the button where you start the program, and the stop sign is the stop of the program. So, we have to press the green flag, but we can't just go making code saying forever sensing, what's her name, because it won't know what to say, what to start. So we go to the events. Events is where it takes control and starts it. See, there's a green flag clicked, like this over here. And then when the backdrop or the background over here, which I'll talk about later, is one of the backdrops, which is, I only have one backdrop, so backdrop 1. And when the loudness, when I receive a message, broadcast message 1, and wait. Broadcasting messages is when you it's basically you just make a message saying, hi, my name is Akhil, and then it will broadcast to the other sprite you have. You can have an infinite amount of sprites. So let's talk about these: motion, looks, sound, events, and all of this. Move 10 steps in motion is basically telling the sprite what to move. If you drag it here and press it, the sprite will move 10 steps, as you see. If you want to make it go reverse, put minus 10 steps. Make it go back. Then turning it right and left, I think you know. But it turns it 15 degrees. And this one turns it in the opposite way. Then go to random position. Go to random position is basically making it go to a random position. I'll just talk about what motion, looks, and sound mean, but not every single block. Looks is basically showing how your sprite will look. You can change the costumes. It can make it say something. It can make the think box appear for 2 seconds, and change the size. Also the color, and it can make it go front layer and back layer. Front layer is where you can see. Back layer is where you cannot see. It won't go to the back layer because I have only one regular backdrop, so this cannot go back to the backdrop. And if you can't find your sprite, press the sprite icon over here. It will make a blue circle around. You can also hide it and show it. Sound is making the sound for the sprite. You can play the pop sound for the sprite. And you can make the volume increase and put it to a pitch. I discussed what events are. Control is how many times and if something happens, how should it react as. It would wait 1 second. When you scroll down in the events section, you would see these arrows going up. These are calling loops. It repeats a block of code how many number of times you want. Just press on the number and type in your number. Then there's a forever loop. This goes forever. It's going forever. You can also change the direction over here, but you can also do it in the motion section. 90 degrees is when it's straight up. So I recommend you always do 90 degrees. If it's too hard for you to move it to 90 degrees, then you can always just type it in. Enter. And if there's too many blocks of code, just drag it to this square out of the workspace, and then it should go minimize and disappear. And once you make changes, always press Save Now. Sensing is when it's touching something or it should move with. But let's get started on the code. Go to the one flag clicked for when it to start. Then, since we made a score variable, drag this set my variable to 0. Then click my variable. It show this drop down. Press score. Then go to the forever loop and drag this under the set score. Because if you put it in the set score, every time you get a score, we'll just set it to 0. So then you wanted to go to random positions, so it's hard to get. Then go to motion to get the go to random position. Put it inside the forever loop, so that always happens. Make sure it's not too, but it's too fast. So then go to control, press wait 1 second, and drag it over there, under the go to random position. If you think it's too slow, you could always press 1 and reduce it to 5. But I'll go with 1. And see, now they're lighting up. And there's this blue square around one flag click. That means the program is running. Press the stop sign and the code stops. You could also move the sprite wherever you want. So now we have the balloon everywhere. But now when we click the balloon, it should pop and change the score. So you have to get an if block. If and then block is basically saying if something happens, then the code should react as. So, if your mouse, go to sensing, if touching mouse pointer, and drag it inside the shade, and it will stretch over here. If touching mouse pointer, then since we wanted to have a pop sound and change the score, go to sound, play sound pop until done. If you just put start sound pop, it would just pop, and when another piece of code is there, it will just keep going in, stop the pop. So go to play sound pop until done. So it makes everything stop in the code, so it does the pop sound. And then drag it there. Then you want to change the score. Go to variables and press change my variable to by 1. Drag it there and press the drop down for my variable and change it to score. So now let's see the code. It just moves without hiding. And it also resets the score, which is good. But we want to click on the balloon so it goes then it hides. You can also make a crosshair sprite or just use your mouse. So, you press hide, looks, go down, scroll in looks, and press hide. And make sure to put it right in the middle of change score and play sound. So after it plays the sounds, it hides and changes the score. But if you just put hide, it'll just stop. And you won't be able to see it. So you can even know if something's not showing because there's a cross on this eye symbol. So you can't see it. So then at underscore, there's a show and put show. So then it will hide and show. Press save so your project saves. But it's still hiding. That's because you must always put show on top. So it starts showing. Press when flag clicked. It's disappearing so fast you can't see it. So you have to wait 1 second. Then press. It worked. But now it's just plain white. We need a background. On the bottom right corner, you would see this background, and it says choose a backdrop, paint, which you can paint a backdrop, and it chooses a backdrop for you, and you can also upload a backdrop. But I want to choose a backdrop. You can pick any backdrop you want, but I'll choose the neon tunnel. It's one of my favorite backdrops. Then press when flag. It works. Since there's only one balloon, let's add more. You could either go to choose a sprite and press another balloon, or to make more with the same code, you can right click on the balloon with code, right click it, you'll see duplicate, export, and delete. Delete, well, it'll delete the sprite. Export means it will transfer the code to a different project or something else, and duplicate will duplicate it. Press duplicate. Now you have 3 balloons. If you wanted the game to be more fun, go to balloon 2. You could change the costumes to the yellow one, and balloon 3 will have a purple one. But balloon 2 does not have code. You could either put the code over here or hold the top code. Then pull it over to the sprite menu. Once the sprites have a shaded blue color, go to the sprite which you want. When it shakes, that means it's going to transfer to it. Then let go. The code over there won't go because it's the sprite's code, and you're just giving the code to another sprite. You go to balloon 2, you have the sprite. It's code. You can even move up to see the sprite code. Now they all have the same code, but they all give the same points. You could either choose if you want the blue balloon, or if you want the blue balloon to have a different color, Or you could like change the score. So if you click on that, it'll give you maybe 5 points. Yellow balloon, 3 points. And the purple balloon, 10 points. You don't have to. It's just to make the game more fun. Then press save now. Press 1, then press the flag. So you can make your own sprite by going to paint. I'll make a crosshair. You see this small crosshair here? When you make a sprite, it will also be a crosshair to make it like change size. To make it change size and everything. But you pull the crosshair to the crosshair on this. So it's directly there. Since it's directly there, that means it's gonna make perfectly what you draw or put. Since there's purple, you can also take out the color. You can also change the color. You would change the color, the saturation, and brightness. Go to fill. If you fill, we'll change the whole entire sprite's color. Then let's make a crosshair. Press the line, so we'll make lines. So then you made a crosshair, but it's too big. So just press the mouse and make a square around the sprite. Then you can reduce the size. I'll make it this small. Now you have a crosshair, but you want it to move with the mouse. So click on the sprite 1, so the code goes in that sprite. Press events and click one flag click, so when the code starts. Then you want this to repeat forever. Then press forever and drag it. Then you want it to go on the control of the mouse. So go to sensing, get mouse X and Y. Go to motion and get set X to and set Y to. It doesn't matter if the numbers are different for you, but you should have some numbers. X is the position of left and right, and Y is position of right up and down. This mouse, it's going on the Y position. Now it's going X. So change set X to and drag the mouse X to set X. And do the same to this, set Y. Then press the green flag. Always press save now and press go. But only when the mouse touches it, it goes. But you want it for the crosshair. So, go to the balloons. Press touching mouse pointer and change it to sprite 1. If you don't want sprite 1 as a name, click on the name and change it to crosshair or whatever you want. And when it's changing to crosshair, make sure that happens for all of them. Press the drop down menu from mouse pointer and change it to crosshair. Then try. And if you don't want your backdrop, you can go back and click backdrop on the bottom right corner and find a better one. You can also delete them by clicking backdrops. Then, instead of costumes, a backdrop should appear. Click that. Now you can delete the backdrops you do not want. You should always name your program or game so you know where it is. I'll call this game Balloon Shooter. Press enter. If you want to share it to the internet, press share. If you want to see the games you've made, go to my stuff. Well, that is it.